My name is Ashley Medina. I am president of Healthy Neighborhoods, and I'm glad to be with you today. Today's presentation will share information about recent initiatives in the neighborhood, what's coming up in the neighborhood, and how you can get involved. To understand the current plans for improving our neighborhood, it is important to know what has happened in the past. About 20 years ago, a plan called the Heritage Initiative was developed by the city of Lewiston to improve downtown Lewiston. The plan was actually a pretty bad failure because it wasn't based on input from the people who actually lived downtown. By contrast, the plan we're sharing today, called Growing Our Tree Streets, is based on a ton of community input. Its overall goal is to improve housing and other opportunities for people who live in the Tree Street neighborhoods. The Growing Our Tree Streets plan is being supported by something called the Choice Neighborhoods Initiative. This is a program of the federal government's Department of Housing and Urban Development, and it provides some of the funding needed to implement our plan. We've already gotten some funding from the program, and we're hoping to get a lot more. During the spring of 2018, Healthy Neighborhoods worked with the City of Lewiston, Community Concepts, and residents to review past plans for downtown, gather data on our neighborhood, and hear from residents about the challenges they saw in the downtown and what people wanted to see happen. We engaged with over 400 residents and learned their priorities for the neighborhood. These priorities include safe and healthy housing. In other words, lead-free housing, which means healthier kids who are more successful in school and beyond. New and renovated housing with a balance of affordable and market rate homes, as well as handicapped accessible units. A place for everyone who chooses to live in the community without pushing people out, and more owner-occupied options for residents. Other priorities we heard were safe routes to school, well-lit, walkable streets, and beautiful public spaces. Neighborhood residents also told us they want more jobs and business opportunities. Overall, residents want to restore what was once a vibrant downtown neighborhood. It's been done before, and we can do it again. So we now have a community vision for the neighborhood, and we have actionable steps to improve the neighborhood. In the last year or so, Healthy Neighborhoods and the city have started to take some of those steps. For example, Healthy Neighborhoods offers mini grants each spring for residents and organizations to help improve the neighborhood in some way. We've supported beautification projects like the Trash Amnesty Day, Webb's Market Mural, and the great banners along Pine Street. We've supported the creation of the pop-up garden known as The Pug and the Butterfly Garden on Bates Street. We've also supported the making and sharing of masks and emergency food programs during COVID, and lots of other great projects. Healthy Neighborhoods has also hosted a range of neighborhood events, like last summer's fabulous block party, community barbecues, back to school, and Halloween events, and this past weekend's weekend warm-up giveaway event. So what can we expect in the neighborhood this next year? When the city received the grant in 2018 to help us create Growing Our Tree Streets, they also received money to begin implementing the plan with a few targeted neighborhood improvements. After feedback from the community on what should be done with the funding, this coming year we will see these improvements. A sledding hill created along the walking path to Connors Elementary School off of Bartlett Street. Improvements to Parody Park to make it more inviting space. Public art and improved gateways into the neighborhood. Improvements to Kennedy Park, including better seating and public Wi-Fi. And grant opportunities for local businesses to add bike racks, planters, seating, and other amenities to space along the street outside their business. But then Then what? Right now, the city and the Lewiston Housing Authority are preparing to submit an application this month to the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development to begin building new housing to replace some of our most distressed housing and to provide more and better housing options for residents, including more affordable and market rate units. The grant would also support other improvements in the neighborhood. So, if we get that grant, we'll be able to develop new housing in 3 specific locations within the neighborhood. We'll also be able to invest in improvements that will benefit the entire neighborhood. The first target area for new housing is on Pine Street across from Kennedy Park. 2 buildings will be constructed here. It will include 71 apartment homes, a mix of affordable and market rate units. Residents in these units will enjoy outdoor terraces, elevator access, and washer and dryers in each unit. This drawing shows the proposed view down Pine Street when you're standing at the corner of Pine and Park Street with City Hall behind you. The 2 buildings contain 1 and 2 bedroom units, commercial businesses on the first floor, and parking in the back for handicapped residents and business customers. Additional resident parking will be provided 1 block away at the Oak Street Garage. The second target site is located further up Pine Street and will cover the block surrounded by Pine Street, Pierce Street, and Bartlett Street. This site will include 9 new buildings and the renovation of the Wedgwood House. There will be 74 apartment homes, a mix of 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units. Again, these will be a mix of affordable and market rate units. As you can see here, each building will vary in size. Some buildings will be as small as 4 units, like the 3 buildings in the middle, and the largest buildings will have 11 units. Parking will be included behind the buildings, and each unit will have a washer and dryer. The drawing at the bottom shows the view down Bartlett Street if you are standing on Walnut Street. This drawing shows the view down Pierce Street if you are standing on Pine Street. The third targeted site will be located on Ash Street in front of Blake Street Towers. 2 buildings will be constructed for a total of 40 units on this site. These will be 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. Here's what these buildings will look like when you're standing at the corner of Lake Street looking up Ash Street. In addition to the new housing at these 3 locations, other significant investments will be made in the neighborhood. One thing we heard from almost everyone in the community when asked what they want to see for the neighborhood was the need to remove lead from the tree streets. So we are committing to making the tree streets lead-free by 2043. We will do this by supporting the renovation of existing buildings to be lead-free and energy efficient. We'll also support the new construction of buildings on vacant lots that can be available for home ownership, and will use some of the Choice Neighborhood Grant funds to help people become homeowners in the tree streets. We'll also use the grant to fund the expansion of Promise Early Child Care so they can open a new center at 1 College Street, because we know that the best way to support children impacted by lead poisoning is to give them access to early child care opportunities as early as possible. We'll also fund the expansion of Beach Street Health Center and will support St. Mary's Nutrition Center to open a community food center to offer healthy foods at low to no cost, as well as create job training and business opportunities for residents. We also hope to work with the city to provide neighborhood Wi-Fi to ensure more residents are accessing this important infrastructure. Lastly, as we do all this, we'll be working to ensure the streets and sidewalks are improved, well lighted, and safe for us to travel on. Finally, the grant will support a people plan that does things like providing coaches, career counseling, and continuing education to help residents achieve goals in areas like income and employment, health and wellness, early childhood education, and youth enrichment activities. For example, helping residents open home-based childcare businesses and helping them connect to job opportunities in healthcare, construction, and childcare. As you can see, there is so much happening now and in the near future in our neighborhood. We want to make sure you stay involved in the process, so please stay connected to Healthy Neighborhoods by following us on Facebook or visiting our website at growingourtreestreets.com. And be sure to contact Linnea to talk more about how you'd like to be involved. Thank you for joining us.